Guten Morgen. If you feel often still tired when you are waking up, if you can't concentrate during the day, if you are not losing weight as you want to, as you are exercising or as you are minimizing your food intake, if you have brittleish nails, hair loss, bad skin quality, all these are at the moment mostly advertised on social media that it's correlated to some type of vitamin deficit or to a gluten allergy intolerance. But before you do these lifestyle changes, which are absolutely fine and good to do, you should check in depth your thyroid. The thyroid hormone is affecting practically every single regulatory system in our body. So if you want to know about how our thyroid is functioning, what the thyroid hormones are doing, and how you can optimize it also through lifestyle changes, please head over to our Puravida podcast.
Welcome to the Puravida podcast. My name is Dr. Gabriel Salgo, and I'm your host.
Guten Morgen. Welcome to today's episode, and you see me alone, no expert guest. One of the reasons is because I'm pretty much an expert in endocrinology, so that's my specialty in medicine. And the reason why I specialized into endocrinology is that I'm having myself a problem with the thyroid. So actually I don't have a thyroid anymore because I had Graves' disease, and this journey led me into specializing into endocrinology after I studied medicine. I actually wanted to go into surgery, but recognized that this is such a complex, interesting area that it's very hard to get 100% recovery on these things unless you know yourself a lot about it. So my journey was that I got sick. I have Graves' disease. My thyroid was removed, and you just not yourself after the surgery if it's removed and you are on thyroid hormones, as everything changes. Before that, you were energetic, you could go out until 3-4 in the morning, 3 hours of sleep, you woke up, a glass of water was enough to recover, and everything was back to normal. After the surgery on thyroid supplements, it was something where I have to be very, very careful about planning my days, about what I eat. I never put on weight before, and after the surgery, I just gained extremely weight, unfortunately. I lost a lot of hair, which never came back, as it's visible. So this all drove me into endocrinology, and I'm very happy about that. So no hard feelings against the Graves' disease. So I think that today's medicine, especially unfortunately in hospitals, is more into sickness. So there, the one test that is usually done in clinics, the TSH, the thyroid stimulating hormone, is enough to see if your thyroid is completely out of range, if it's really not functioning anymore. But to optimize the levels so that you are feeling as yourself as you did before having a hypothyroidism or before your thyroid was removed, is by far not extensive enough. So in this episode, I will let you know, explain how the thyroid works, what type of hormones are released in there, and how other things are very much influencing it, how stress, how food, how depression are influencing the thyroid, and also the other way around. So the first question is, what is actually the thyroid? How is it controlled? And what type of hormones is it releasing? In the brain, 2 levels are controlling how much hormones are released in the thyroid, actually, which sits in this area in the front of your throat. How the thyroid is even stimulated to release hormones, in what extent. So the first command center is in our hypothalamus in the brain, which releases a hormone called TRH, thyroid releasing hormone. That goes to the pituitary gland, which is also in our brain, and this then releases TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. Now that goes directly to our thyroid. The thyroid releases two types of thyroid hormones. One is T4, and this is around 90% of the hormone it is released. The second one is T3. Now T4 and T3 are standing for how many iodine molecules are attached to the hormone. So you can imagine that it's a T and it has 4 little iodine excesses, and the T3 is having only 3. Now the T4 is not active. So T4 is a little bit like the bus where it drives around, has the workers that are going out to the factory, having it on board, and drives around your body, but it's not active. The workers can't do anything in a bus. Now we are having different type of deiodinizing, this is a very difficult word, and maybe I get somebody else to speak it, deiodinizing enzymes, which are cutting off one iodine from the T4, so it becomes T3, and this is then the worker who gets out of the bus and starts to do something in your body. So the T3 is the active form of the hormone, which is then really doing the work. The relation in our body is usually like 80-20, so 80% of the circulating hormones are T4, 20% are T3, and depending on how much is needed, the body can deiodinize the T4, so it's very fast available and can help to raise your body temperature, to getting more alert. All these things are happening on this level of the circulating hormones. The feedback onto the brain happens how many of the T3 are really out there and working. So when the brain senses, oh, there's many T3s, then it says, guys, in your thyroid, you don't need to produce that much T4. We have enough guys working. Then the thyroid goes down and releases on that day less T4. If the other thing is happening, so that the T3 is very small and your body requires more action, then the feedback is, please release more T4 so that we can convert it into T3 and we can do our work. Now, unfortunately, there's also one deiodinizing enzyme which creates a 3T version called reverse T3, and this guy is just disguised as a worker, but he's lazy and not doing any work. So he goes into the factory, docks onto his working station, to the receptor in your body, and nothing happens. And this is something that has to be usually checked if we have people under thyroid hormone replacement therapy, or if there are still symptoms, although the TSH is normal, because these receptors are then practically fakely placed and are not able to work. And that can lead to the symptoms that we all know from thyroid problems: sluggishness, tiredness, not able to lose weight, not able to really build up muscles. Immune system is down. We have problems with our skin and hair, heart rate issues. So everything is in a way off. We feel off. This is maybe the right expression on that. So if you're feeling off, it might be a problem with your thyroid. Now, these tests are available, are mostly, unfortunately, not done, with the explanation that if TSH is in a normal level, then your thyroid is somehow functioning and is releasing enough T4, and we have a good feedback over the T3 levels. But that doesn't mean that you are in an optimal state. So before we are going to lifestyle changes with diet exercise, gluten-free, increasing some vitamins, which won't do as much effect as an optimized thyroid level. This should be the first thing that you think of and ask your doctor to do. Now, what is very important to see in the second thing, what else does the thyroid hormone influence? And these are all other hormones. So that's why it's called a master hormone. So on the level of influencing sexual hormones, the adrenal gland, your insulin response, all these are connected to the thyroid. So not optimized thyroid hormone levels and too much reverse T3, which then blocks the necessary receptors to get a response, are affecting all these other organ systems. So fertility, proper glucose metabolism, proper response to stress is not optimized. And unfortunately also all other systems are influencing the thyroid. So if you are having stress on a continuous basis and continuously high steroid levels, cortisol levels, this can lead to a hypothyroidism, not in a sense that it's medically relevant. It's called a subclinical hypothyroidism. So that you are having inconveniences, you don't feel 100% well, and you can see that your thyroid levels, if you had a test before, decreasing. And there it's very, very important that to break through the vicious circle where the high cortisol levels are causing the hypothyroidism, and then also with that all other symptoms where you are again not able to sleep properly. That leads again to an increasement in your stress levels because you're not properly recovered. It is also very difficult to lose weight because your body is just trying to hold on to every type of energy and is not optimized in cellular function. So all these are related to the thyroid, and even if you are doing then lifestyle changes, which are very helpful and very necessary for your whole body's health, let your thyroid checked. Go a little bit deep into it. We will share on our show notes comprehensive websites which are explaining in detail what is happening with the hormones. So if you have any questions, please just write us. Thank you very much.
Legal disclaimer. This podcast and website reflect the opinions of Dr. Gabriel Peter Salgo and his guests. The content provided here is not intended as medical advice and is solely for informational purposes. Given the unique nature of individuals, it is advisable to consult a healthcare professional for any medical concerns. The views expressed herein are our own and do not necessarily reflect those of our respective workplaces. While we strive for accuracy in the information shared, we welcome feedback and corrections. Privacy is paramount to us, and any references to individuals, locations, or scenarios have been altered to safeguard patient confidentiality. This podcast and website should not be construed in a legal capacity, including establishing a standard of care or as the basis for expert witness testimony. We do not guarantee the accuracy of statements or opinions expressed herein. Engagement with our content, whether through listening, reading, emailing, or social media interaction, does not establish a doctor-patient relationship. Should any errors be identified in our content, please contact us through the provided channels. Ownership of this podcast belongs to Puravida Healthline SDN BHD. Our content may include affiliate links, through which we earn a commission on sales made through those links. As a participant in the Amazon affiliate program, we may earn from qualifying purchases made through our links. Disclosures. Dr. Gabriel Peter Salgo is the co-founder of Puravida Healthline SDN BHD. Dr. Gabriel Peter Salgo is a scientific advisor, board member and/or investor to Mulligan H. Jadakind Ltd., Eichsen Research, and receives compensation from these companies.